Welcome back to my Sonic Retrospective series. And hey, I'm finally covering Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. That's right. Given the success of the first 8-bit Sonic titles, Sega decided to release the 8-bit Sonic 2 before the Genesis version. For some reason. Right away, we are introduced to a new character, Miles Tails Prower. Who immediately gets kidnapped by Robotnik. So much for that story arc. Also, yes, Sonic fans, this is the first official Sonic game to feature Tails. Hey, wait a minute. Miles? Tails? Now I get it! So, what about the game? As expected, the game looks amazing. The levels are bright and colorful. Each one has a unique art style and color palette, and the important sprites are generally well detailed and easy to see. My only complaint is that the secret paths are impossible to distinguish from the background and are generally only discovered by accident. I also like the title cards for each of the zones. It gives you an idea of the tone of the level and what to expect. Why is Tails there? Didn't he get kidnapped? The music here is top-notch. It easily matches the already high bar set by the previous games. Not counting that one. I would even go as far as to say that this soundtrack is, overall, better than the Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack from the first game. Where the first 8-bit Sonic had some really good tracks, Sonic 2 here has a better soundtrack overall. I can't think of a single track here that I don't like. And the all-important boss music is satisfyingly tense. The story, according to the instruction booklet, is that Sonic returns home after soundly defeating Robotnik in the first game to find his house a wreck and Tails missing. That's a new low, Robotnik. I mean, we've all known Tails ever since that previous sentence. Of course, this story is immediately contradicted when you turn on the game and watch the opening animation. This game also has some improvements over the previous 8-bit entry. For one, Sonic can now grab some of the rings that he loses after getting hit, and the camera is much improved over the first one, shifting to give you a better view of where you're going every time you change directions. However, these improvements can't save this game from its biggest flaw, the fact that it's on the Game Gear. Just like the previous 8-bit Sonic game, this one was developed for the Master System and then ported onto the Game Gear afterward. And this isn't really a problem with the hardware. The Game Gear is more than capable of running the game with impressive speed. The problem is that the screen is way too small for this game. The game runs nice and fast and smooth, but with such a small viewing area, hazards appear so fast that they're almost impossible to avoid. Not only that, there are numerous platforming sections where you can't even see the next platform, making each jump a leap of faith. To top it all off, Sonic's controls are a little floaty, and that little slide he does when changing directions quickly goes on a little too long, meaning you will overshoot and slide off of blind jumps before getting it right. For instance, take this part here, Green Hills Zone Act 3. It's Act 3, which means it's a boss level, meaning there are no rings, so you can't make any mistakes. Now look at this section here. How in the hell are you supposed to do this on the tiny Game Gear screen? Come on. Damn it! Alright. Ah, shit! Okay, got it this time. Fuck! Also, The game's overly floaty controls can cause even more troubles in the water level. In the previous games, water levels were always a bit slower, but Sonic's jump trajectory remained pretty much constant. However, in this game, the water levels feel totally different. I found myself overcompensating when I felt I might overshoot a jump and wind up undershooting instead. Also, when Sonic hits an enemy or other hazard, he always falls back a little. And underwater, the game translates that into horizontal momentum, making it a chore to stop Sonic and get back on track. To top it all off, there are a couple of sections where you have to traverse up a really long path with enemies and other hazards. If you get hit, Sonic goes into his little falling animation and you can't do anything until you land. Well, here, it takes so long to fall, you lose your temporary invincibility before you land, meaning you could hit another hazard or enemy on the way down and there's nothing you can do about it. And don't even get me started on these hang gliding levels.
Come on, what the ass?
It's sections like these that hold this game back from its full potential. It just comes down to trial and error, and that's no fun in a game where extra lives are scarce. Now it sounds like I'm being hard on this game, but that's only because I actually do still like it. Those complaints only really stand out because the rest of the game is still fun. The game is fast and runs smooth. The level bosses are really cool and unique. And it has a couple of fun features, like some of the water sections where you can bounce along the top of the water with enough speed. If you don't have a Game Gear, you can check this version out on Sonic Adventure DX for the GameCube, or on Sonic Gems Collection, which is what I used to record this review, also for the GameCube. It's definitely worth picking up if you're a Sonic fan, but otherwise I don't think this one has mass appeal, unless you're looking for a challenge and feeling masochistic.